Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are diving into a genuinely fascinating topic. And this one is specifically for anyone who has ever felt fundamentally misunderstood or maybe just totally detached when you're thrown into highly stimulating social settings. We're going to unpack this incredible concept of ghosting reality. If you've ever felt like an outsider looking in, just completely removed from the chatter happening all around you, I really want you to know right now that you are not alone. And actually, what's more important is that your brain is doing something absolutely remarkable. Okay, so let's jump right into this hyper-relatable scenario. Picture this. You're standing at a party, you're nodding along to some conversation with a drink in your hand, but your mind has essentially just ejected itself from the solar system, right? You're looking at people, you're seeing their lips move, but they feel like actors in a movie you've already seen 100 times. Suddenly, everyone and everything around you makes the real world feel about as substantial as a holographic projection. You are physically standing there, sure, but mentally, you literally feel like a pilot trapped inside a meat suit. Section 1. The party glitch as a survival mechanism. We are going to explore why this profound feeling of the real world seeming like an illusion isn't some sort of glitch, but a highly sophisticated biological defense mechanism. Now, what's really amazing here is how this science totally debunks the societal myth that you're broken or flawed. Society looks at this kind of behavior and quickly slaps on labels like checked out or antisocial. But what neuroscience sees is a completely different story. Science actually shows us that this response is a high-level survival mechanism. It's emergency thermal management. It's an evolutionary tool that literally separates highly resilient individuals from those who just crumble under the crushing weight of modern noise. So what's actually happening? Well, when you ghost reality, your brain is actually pulling its emergency ejection seat. In psychology, they call this dissociation. It happens because your nervous system has scanned your current environment, say that crowded room or that agonizingly boring small talk marathon, and it has officially deemed it to be metabolically expensive garbage. Your brain literally disconnects your consciousness from your body because the real world right there in that moment has become way too painful or just overwhelmingly loud to endure. Moving right along to Section 2, your overclocked brain recording in 4K HDR. Let's see how this builds into the architecture of your specific mind, because this doesn't happen to everyone. It happens to you because you likely lack those built-in filters, the noise-canceling headphones for life that most people are just walking around with. If you're experiencing this, you likely possess what we call a rare overclocked mirror neuron system. While everyone else is just vaguely hearing a conversation, you are recording reality in full 4K HDR. You're absorbing everyone's micro-expressions, you're detecting hidden tensions that literally no one else sees, and you're observing these invisible puppet strings of social manipulation happening all around the room. Because of this incredibly high resolution, you're processing more data in 20 minutes than most people do an entire week. And this brilliantly illustrates your brain's very objective mechanical process to save itself. It goes like this. First, your overclocked mirror neurons scan the room in that vivid 4K HDR. Second, your system analyzes the data and realizes, uh-oh, we are surrounded by metabolically expensive garbage. Third, to stop your system from just completely overheating and crashing from all that extreme sensory input, it triggers the emergency ejection seat. You dissociate. You ghost reality. It is a perfectly logical, protective sequence. Which brings us to Section 3, the default mode network and your inner architecture. So we need to look at exactly where your mind goes when you pull that lever and ghost reality. Your mind retreats to the default mode network, or DMN. This is the part of your brain that activates when you aren't focused on the outside world. Now, for most people, a lack of social input triggers a massive distress signal. They absolutely panic when they aren't stimulated. But not you. While the rest of the world is desperately addicted to digital dopamine, your default mode network substitutes for external input by running this highly intricate, self-referential simulation. It goes so deep that it effectively maintains your brain's architectural integrity, making normal socializing feel like absolute meaningless noise by comparison. What you've achieved here is something called autonomous cognitive engagement. Basically, this means you find significantly more clarity in your own silence than most people find in a literal lifetime of chatter. You are prioritizing your intrinsic identity over tribal belonging. You've mastered this. Your brain utterly refuses to outsource its validation to the crowd. You are genuinely, profoundly okay with being alone because you're engaging with a deeply rich internal architecture. There's this quote from the source material that I absolutely love, and it perfectly sums this up. You don't need the noise because your inner world is more interesting, more logical, and frankly, a lot more honest than the theater happening in front of you. That is so spot on, right? It captures exactly why you naturally value authenticity over performance. Your inner world is just providing far more metabolic value than the exhausting, superficial theater of everyday social events.
All right, Section 4, the crisis advantage, lightning-fast logic. Let's explore how this perceived social flaw actually transforms into a massive, undeniable superpower out in the real world.
Think about it. When a crisis hits, other people immediately panic because their standard manual for reality just caught fire. They rely entirely on external cues, and when those break down, they break down. But you are entirely different. You're not being cold or unfeeling. You've simply already ghosted the emotional chaos. Your anterior cingulate cortex is totally free from the noise, which allows it to run lightning-fast cost-benefit calculations while everyone else is still busy screaming. And where does this come from? Well, it often traces back to what we call latchkey kid vigilance. Many enlightened observers have basically been practicing for these crisis moments since childhood. You probably learned very early on that hypervigilance equals survival, and you likely figured out pretty fast that the adults in the room were usually lying or just putting on a performance anyway. You took that early realization and, quite brilliantly, turned it into the ultimate survival tool for adulthood. Finally, Section 5, upgrading your reality by refusing the noise. Let's tie all of this together to fundamentally reframe how you navigate the world moving forward. The world might look at your silence and confidently diagnose it as a weakness, or assume you just lack interest. But the science dictates something entirely different. You are actually operating on a vastly superior level of what is known as effective resonance. Simply put, this is the neurobiological state of playing chess, while the rest of the world is happily playing checkers. You've essentially seen right through the matrix of small talk. You realize that most standard social interactions are little more than social grooming. It's a performance, entirely designed to protect fragile egos and maintain the status quo. And you've simply decided completely logically that you do not have the metabolic budget to participate in that performance. It is literally a waste of your system's energy. So listen, the next time you're at a party or stuck in a meeting and you feel yourself drifting away into that quiet, detached space, don't fight it. You aren't losing touch with reality. You are just refusing to be remote controlled by the noise around you. Recognize it for exactly what it is. Your brain is stepping back to upgrade its operating system in real time, protecting you and processing the actual truth of the room. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider. Do you have an emergency ejection seat, or are you still out there trying to force yourself to fit into the loud, draining crowd? Embrace your neuro-edgy truth. Never let someone else's definition of reality rewrite your own, because you are built exactly the way you need to be to survive and thrive. Let us know your answer in the comments below, and keep valuing that incredible inner world of yours.